Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now, if you've been about this channel for a minute, you know I tackled the sensitive topic of xenophobia, of just immigrants in South Africa. A lot of immigrants looking for greener pastures in Africa head to South Africa, and I promised you guys an alternative. I promised you guys top 5 countries to consider other than South Africa, and this is basically this video. If you're looking for greener pastures, here is this video for you. So I'm going to give you countries towards the end. I'm also giving you what I used to come to the conclusions I've come to in this video. Now, there is something for everyone in this video, whether you're looking to build a new life through farming, labor intensive work, or just traditional ways of doing business and earning money, or you're looking to run an online business or to tap into a new market through some incredible innovative idea you have. There's something in this video for you, so stay tuned and keep watching. Before I get into my points and before I get into these countries, I do want to mention one thing that I feel is really important. It's the genesis of any success you're going to have, and I really think it is the mentality with which you migrate with. Now, the mindset and the attitude you have, your inherent beliefs, are going to impact whether or not you see success. So I think it's important, before we go anywhere in this video, that I say you must remember, if you're going to change anything and if you want to start a new thing, you need to start from the inside out. Any idea you carry of yourself, if it be negative, if it be victim mindset, if it be centered around lack, then you're going to see just that no matter where you are on this planet. So it's really important, if you're running away from something, make sure you have changed and worked on your mindset. Make sure you are ready for the change you want, you see yourself in that change, and you have just worked on your beliefs and your mindset. We'll get into a little bit later how you can do that, how you can see yourself differently, because honestly, where you find yourself, somebody has been there before and they have overcome it. So the mindset is where there's going to be a difference. That's the only factor that will separate you from your situation and to the reality you want. A quick tip from me to you would be the social media that you watch, the YouTube platform that you utilize to watch things, to entertain yourself, to educate yourself. Look for people that are where you want it to be. Look for people to watch. Emphasis on realistically where you want to get to. Okay, there's no point watching a billionaire and how they got to being a billionaire. Look for breadcrumbs to the success you want to see. That way, that will move your spirit and that will move your emotions towards believing and expecting for you to get to that level of success as well. Here are some factors I use to consider which country will be great, or which countries are great to consider when you're looking to start again, to venture into new business in a land away from home. This is not an exhaustive list, but an indicator, and throughout this video there'll be breadcrumbs of pieces of information that I used to help me put this list together, and you can use that to come up with a list that best suits you and your lifestyle or your goals. The number one thing is the level of development in a country. How close are they to modernization? The standard of that definition is set by what goes on in the West, what civilization looks like, what up and coming ways look like, okay, what universal ways of doing anything look like. A country's level of development is a big factor in how successful or unsuccessful you are going to be, or your new idea is going to be. So countries with upcoming economies often have untapped opportunities, or often have opportunities waiting for somebody to dive into and to explore them, especially if you're a person who can introduce modernization to a traditional way of doing business. You are almost halfway there in terms of success. If you have had the privilege of traveling outside of your hometown, outside of your village, outside of your country, you hold so much valuable insights in terms of how to do things. The level of work you will need to do to shape something up for it to be successful in this new land will be so much smaller, because you've seen it working elsewhere, and so you're literally doing a copy and paste of that template, of that framework, of that methodology or ways of doing business, but you're just applying it to a population that has not seen it before, has not experienced it in the most efficient way. You might have an idea that already exists in the land you're considering, but your touch, your flair. You know, my clan and your clan will always be different. Me and you can both be selling tomatoes, but how you sell tomatoes, your energy, your vibe will attract different customers. There'll be a reason why someone prefers to buy from you as opposed to the person next to you doing exactly the same thing. So I say this to say, you can use the insights you have from wherever you've come from whatever you've seen through life experience or just simply observation. You can use what you have to convert it into a business when you arrive at a destination that is on its development journey. Number 2, the cost of living and entry costs to anything. Baby, listen, money talks. Money makes the world go round. Affordable living expenses and low cost entry costs are essential to starting anything new, to doing anything. Okay, when I'm traveling and doing my traveling shenanigans, I love countries where my money goes a long way. And the reason why I don't play around in these countries that I'll be spending US dollars is because my money is not going to stretch as much as it's going to stretch when I'm in Marrakesh, when I'm in South Africa. You know, you want to pay attention to all those things. And not only do you want to pay attention to it being low, you also want to pay attention to, you know, exchange for value. You might pay less money but actually get more for your money. I say this in my video when I went to Nigeria versus Ghana, right? When I was in Nigeria, things were not cheap, but what I got for my money was so much more in terms of quality of service than when I compare with Ghana. When you do the same comparison between Nigeria and South Africa, you pay so much less in South Africa for something than you would do in Nigeria, but you're still getting so much more service and quality. These are the things you need to assess. These are things that are very, very important. Make sure you're paying attention to the value of the local currency versus where you will be predominantly sending money back to. For example, if you're Zimbabwean living in South Africa, you're most likely going to be earning in rands. By the time you try and send money back home to your people in Zimbabwe from South Africa, the exchange from rand to dollar, it's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy. A great way to find out the general cost of living is just watch videos. People are leaving information for free on YouTube, right? Videos like how much I earn in a day as an Uber driver or whatever app is predominant in that country. How much does $100 or 100 puller or 100 rand get me in the local currency if I go shopping? I think the essence of this point is you have access to the internet. Use it to educate yourself and to get information. If agriculture, farming, fishing is your thing, and you know you're not shy of hard work, or that is what you know, it's important to find a country where land and resources are easily accessible and where you can start a business with minimal red tape. Perhaps where you are, it's not valued much, but look to see where can you reapply this energy and get more money for it. I always say this in my previous videos, your youth is for putting in energy to set things up so that by the time you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s plus, right, this thing is a well-oiled machine that's just producing work opportunities, money for you, and growing and adapting. Your aim should not be that you are the front and center of a business. The aim should not be that if you do not go to work, you do not earn. Right? You need to set up something that whether you're there or not, it's still producing money. When you're now thinking about moving, about migrating, about greener pastures, about starting again, think long term and think beyond you and your spouse or your whatever. Think about the children to come, the generation to come. Hand them over something that is a kickstart for their life so that they're not struggling and having to start again or start from fresh, perhaps like many of us have had to do. Third on my list, look for business friendly environment. If you plan to go towards business, okay, rather than being employed, make sure you understand the regulations. Please don't go there looking to cut corners. Don't go there looking for one uncle, one auntie that will help you to break the rules so that you can make it. Start correct, okay? Just find out how it is that you can do things legitimately, do things properly from the onset. It's respectable, it has longevity, and you will be proud. You will be proud to say, this is mine, I built it, it's legit, no one can come and shake me. I am aware Africa has, bribery issues, it has infrastructure issues, it just has all these crumbs that make it difficult for the day-to-day to navigate. It's important that you carry a mindset of wanting to do things properly. And also, don't give yourself unrealistic time frames and unrealistic budgets. Okay, allow yourself time in your journey to arrive and simply observe. Number 4 on my list is connectivity. I recently made a video about Starlink arriving in Zimbabwe. Okay, you being able to purchase the kit for you to set yourself up to use Starlink, and I went into detail about the cost of that. I truly believe one of the things that has kept Africa behind is the lack of connectivity. You should focus on looking out for countries who, for example, Starlink is set up and running, because it's going to be affordable, it's going to be reliable. Stable and inexpensive and reliable internet is a big game changer for any African country, which is why connectivity is so important, and it's made it on this list. When I say connectivity as well, I'm also talking about stable electricity, or at least a stable plan of action from that country for when there is a lack of electricity. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope this has been helpful. I hope these steps of how to consider where to move will help you make a decision for where to go to next, or where to start your migrating journey. If you have any comments, any contributions, please put them in the comments below. As always, remember to be kind, remember to be sensible. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. I'm going to make part 2. In part 2, I'm going to be talking to you about specific countries to consider, and I've got 4 or 5 countries that I want you guys to look into. Anyway, until then, until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.